So here's what we are now. So there have been so many changes with our communities over the 140 years. Okay, we are a bigger community from the very first Channing family to an estimated population of 38,000 to 40,000 population in different communities in Minnesota. And we will become bigger, dynamic, and contributor communities in different neighborhoods in the state. And this is just one of them. To give Mr. Plenty idea, I'm going to show you the different aspects of our community. And talking about education and culture, many community volunteers established at least 7 Chinese schools, weekend language schools in different neighborhoods.
We're adding more in the south.
Okay, great, yeah. So right now, there are over 10,000 students in Minnesota are learning Chinese. And on every Saturday, there are hundreds of Chinese kids and American kids to learn Chinese, math, and arts at those weekend schools. And these efforts has created those centers for us to pass on our culture and the traditions to the younger generation. And in the Twin Cities areas, we have a variety of cultural and arts groups, and their performance have really enriched the bigger community of Minnesota. And they perform at different cultural events, choir, dancing group, and kids activities. Since the majority of the first generation immigrants are working professionals, and they've self-organized a lot of professional associations and groups to share knowledge, to discuss how to improve career development, and also to keep the continuous learning. And within our community, there are also a lot of efforts on community service and charity work. And we have Association of Minnesota Chinese Physicians to provide volunteer and free clinic to the members in our community without medical insurance. And we also have Chinese social service to offer regular assistance and support for the seasoned members for the senior members in our community. And especially since the last presidential election, there's really a strong initiative to become more engaging and involved in politics. So the photo showed in the last presidential election, a group of Chinese Americans raised $4,000 within 24 hours to fly the banner at Minnesota Chinese American for Trump in the sky for 2 days. And right now in this election season, and different community members volunteer to walk in the parades with their supported candidates. So this is a parade in Edina, parade in Chanhassen, and also this is the most recent parade in Chaska, and supporting GOP candidate Doug Werlow for Attorney General in the state. And besides those volunteer work, there has been a strong enthusiasm initiative in our community to support our representatives. So there are continuous efforts for fundraising in the community. So the community raised over $10,000 within a week for GOP candidate for Senate, U.S. Senate, Mr. Jim Newberger, and also we contributed over $2,000, within a few days for the GOP candidate, Mr. Doug Werlow for the State Attorney General. And there are a lot of initiatives to support the local legislatives in Minnesota. And as a minority community, we do have our concerns. And our primary concern currently is the ethnic data disaggregation law in Minnesota, which was signed into law in the year of 2017. Very unfortunately, without any input, involvement from the Chinese American community and many other minority groups, and this law, this ethnic data desegregation has become a Minnesota law. Basically, this law will require every public school district in Minnesota to collect as detailed ethnic data from minority students only. The Chinese American community, after we really learned about this has really become a law and it is a discriminated law, we really start to voice our concerns to the legislators, to the government offices, and we explain why we are so concerned. Because it's wrong. There are several major reasons. The very first, this law will create more division and creations and discriminations against the minority students in Minnesota. And also it will bring more risks of racial and ethnic-based discrimination and harassment into Minnesota schools. And without the good measure and investment to make sure the storage of the data is secure, it will just expose children to more privacy risks and the data issue because of those collected sensitive information. And the last but not the least, this law will waste millions of dollars of taxpayers' monies without really achieving the goal to help the students who are struggling academically. So since the last summer, our community has really become engaging and active to voice our self-concerns and protest against this new law in Minnesota. So back in April this year, on April 12th, we self-organized a 300 people peaceful rally in front of the state capitol to voice our concerns, to call for stopping of this discriminatory law. So these are the photos taken from that rally. We're really calling for uniting us, not dividing us. And we also held and reached out to the Minnesota Department of Meeting and had many meetings with the Minnesota Department of Education, who is in charge of implementing this law. Let them know our concerns. Let them know if there's anything they could do better. We hope they could improve the process of this implementation. And we met with the commissioner of the Minnesota Department of Education, assistant commissioner, and we participate every community feedback meeting hosted by the Minnesota Department of Education regarding this ethnic data collection.
7 meetings with NDE since last October.
So this photo shows the most recent and also the last community feedback meeting held by the Department of Education. We also have many meetings with the Council of Asian and Pacific Minnesotans, who is a strong advocate for this discriminatory law. We made our efforts to let the leaders and also the board be aware of our community's concern and let them know that it is not right to ignore the concerns from our community. Also, community volunteer members reached out and had meetings with the school district superintendents in Minnetonka School District and also in the Eden Prairie School District. And we've learned the lessons from being excluded from the legislative process of a very important law. So we started our interest and actions to work and meet with our legislators to let them be aware of our concerns and to seek any possibility to amend and also repeal this discriminatory law. So these photos are taken from many meetings from the community, from the that community volunteers to meet with our legislators. So that you can see there are big crowds showing up. So in general, believing Minnesota is our home with hardworking ethics and a civic participation, we Chinese Americans want to contribute to a stronger and a fairer state for the better future of every kid in Minnesota. And we hope that every political leader, they will make laws and policies that will unite us, not divide us, to create an environment and growing experience for every kid, as growing up as a citizen, to believe in this country, in every corner, everyone is equal between opportunities and laws. Thank you very much. So hopefully this brief introduction and presentation just give you a quick glimpse of who we are and what we care about and what we are fighting for, okay? And by working with legislators, we know that even we're working so hard with legislators on possible bills to repeal this law, down the road in the future, when our efforts, make the bills passed on both the Senate and the House of floors in Minnesota, a Democratic governor will still very much likely to veto the bills and our efforts. So among many other things, this is just to help us realize the importance of the role of the governor. So that's the reason why communities are so interested to know more about you as a strong candidate. So I'm going to turn the stage to you to like to share with our audience about yourself, your decision running the election, and your vision for leading our state. Thank you so much.